Hello and welcome to Gaelic Football Views on CavintTV.com. Well, first of all, tonight we're delighted to be joined by Benny Sheridan as always, and Player of the Week for the third week of the Sheridan Insurance Breffni All-Stars, Stephen Smith. Benny, I suppose first of all what we'll do is we'll do the actual presentation.
Very good. Now Stephen, congratulations on being in the third week of the Sheridan Insurance's Player of the Week. Stephen Smith, 7 points from play, kicks with both feet. Well done, Stephen.
Thanks very much, Benny. Thank you.
And also on that is the voucher, which entitles you to 15% for you or any member of your family off the next purchase of insurance if you deal with Sheridan Insurances. Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a wonderful display by yourself, Stephen. 7 points from play. You were the standout forward of the weekends you were for Ballyhaise and throughout the county.
Yeah, thanks Michael and thanks Benny. Yeah, it was a good performance. Looking at it from a personal point of view, the scores went over, but ultimately from Ballyhaise and a team point of view, the main thing was getting the result, getting through to a quarter final. We had our eyes on this game, you know, looking through the league. We were in Division 1A. That was a struggle in itself, you know, because we were playing the top teams. You know, it was ultra competitive, but we never really took our eyes off Swad and Bar. We knew they were always coming in the long grass for us. A lot of people probably fancied Swad maybe to cause somewhat of an upset. You know, we're probably going in this year, we're there to be shot at. We're a Division 1 team that's in intermediate, but we felt we were prepared well. Training had went really, really well. We're under John Brady. John has us really, really in top shape, motoring well. And like, look, on the day it went well, but we know it's only a small step. Ultimately, we know what we're keeping our eye on the prize, and we just really want to try and keep focused and ultimately just try and keep the heads down and hopefully work towards an intermediate.
Yeah, and the next game you have Damien, the draw was done this evening, Ballyhaise take on
Butler's Bridge. It's a local derby. You can throw a stone from one place to the other now.
Of course, yeah. Look, we know at this stage, Damien, you know, like, there's nothing easy in intermediate. Butler's Bridge only next door neighbours to us. We never have it easy against Butler's Bridge, but really it didn't matter. Whoever we were going to get, they were always going to be a very, very tough competition for us. You know, and the Bridge won't be any different.
Just looking back on the game itself that you played against Swan and Bar, like I've seen you play, you're not the youngest player, we'll say, on the panel, but you were the fittest. You covered ground. You weren't just stuck in at the full forward line. You were right around the middle of the field, catching ball, breaking up tackles in the full back line, and then driving up the other end of the field. Like, you know, this year you look like a re-energised player for Ballyhaise, and you weren't there for them last year when they got to the intermediate final, so you're a big plus.
Yeah, well, look, I suppose we have got a few players back as well this year, which has helped, you know. Yeah, definitely, you'd probably classify me as one of the more experienced players on the team. That's probably a good way of saying it, you know. But yeah, this year, like, thank God, touch wood, I've kind of stayed injury free, and you know yourself, Damien and Micky, know as well, when you're not injured and you're able to train, it can make an awful difference, you know. It can just kind of give you that enthusiasm and give you that hunger for it. There's nothing worse than missing sessions and missing trainings because you're injured or carrying knocks. So thank God this year I have managed to stay injury free. The fitness has came with that, so I suppose maybe there's a freshness to it. But like, ultimately, you know, we have a very competitive panel. Lads are back now. We have a full squad to pick with. We had a few boys away just travelling and then through studies and that, but please God, we have a full panel to pick from for the rest of the championship. So competition it's hot, like it's nothing's for granted.
Look at last, you were saying you got to the intermediate final close enough to winning it out, but you have the addition of obviously yourself, Brendan Lyons, David Brady, who County Minor, absolutely outstanding footballer. So the strength in the panel in Ballyhaise is second to none in the intermediate.
There is, yeah. We have, as I say, we have got a panel to pick from. Eamon Costello as well is back as our captain this year. Yeah, and Eamon has a massive experience there. And you know, I think that can't be underestimated, you know, the importance of the experience. It's a youthful panel, it's a youthful team in Ballyhaise, but that experience can be crucial as well, you know, and maybe a lot of people might have looked towards last year and maybe just that little bit of experience maybe was missing in the final. So hopefully this year, please God, that's what we'll be looking at, that maybe that experience might be that little bit that we need.
You mentioned Division 1A as well, and you're top of the Division 1A Breffni League. You're holding your own in Division 1 against all the top teams in the county, you know, so you'll be the highest ranked team in the intermediate going on league basis. So Is this your year, Stephen?
Yeah, no pressure attached. Look, we would always look like it was always a huge ambition of the club to get into Division 1 and to maintain our Division 1 status. And you know, thankfully we've done that this year. We've secured Division 1 status. That was a major objective for us. And I think in a way that probably helped us that there wasn't a massive build up towards the championship. We never took our eye off it, but there wasn't that huge pressure because we were focused on league and focused trying to maintain our league status. Now look at you know, you're week in, week out in Division 1, you're playing the top teams. Nothing was easy, nothing came easy. So we'll be hoping that will stand to us in the long haul. But we know there's so many teams in the intermediate that are at a level. Numerous years, you know, Ballyhaise has been tipped as favourites. You know, we know we're there to be shot at, so we're not going to take any team for granted or anything for granted. We're just going to keep our heads down, and we're not looking any further than Butler's Bridge.
Yeah. Benny, again, another top quality player this week, being handed one of these trophies, the Player of the Week. What does it mean for you, I suppose, you know, to be involved with this initiative for the Breffni All-Stars?
Well, I think it appeals right through the length and breadth of County Cavan that you have players from different players. Absolutely. I'll deal with them after this, yeah. That Tomas Carr or the different clubs that's involved, I think that to get a Player of the Week award from the judging panel that's there, something special has to be done. And I think that's the key thing, that it's one match at a time for the guys here in Ballyhaise. They're not looking beyond that. But Stephen can say, well, that's something he has on the mantelpiece now as probably just a token of recognition for the effort he's put in over the last 6 months, because you just don't go out and deliver that performance without a lot of work being done on training. And obviously the guys around him, the corner forwards, the people who's kicking it into him and all that. So there's a good unit there to feed their target man, and then for him to respond in that fashion. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Benny.
Excellent. So we're just going to go to a quick break. We'll see us afterwards with all the results from the weekend. So stay tuned.
Cavan Crystal Hotel provides 4-star accommodation on the edge of Cavan Town. Located conveniently on the Dublin Road, just 60 minutes away from Dublin. With 85 beautifully appointed bedrooms and a number of luxurious suites. We offer wedding packages. With our one wedding a day policy, we guarantee to make yours a special day. Enjoy a meal at our award-winning Opus One restaurant, or have a drink in the atrium or residence bars. Feeling energetic? You can work out in Zest Health and Fitness Club, or maybe pamper yourself and visit Utopia Health and Beauty Clinic, or Avita's Hair Salon, both located on site. Situated only 5 minutes from Cavan Town Centre and local amenities. Cavan Crystal Hotel, gateway to Ireland's Lakelands.
Welcome back to part 2, and we'll start by concentrating on the Hotel Kilmore and Cully's Craft Bakeries Club Championships that took place at the weekend gone by.
Yeah.
Very busy weekend.
Very busy for you, it has to be said. You were at nearly every single game over the weekend. Well done.
Yeah, it was a lot of games. Yeah, it was enjoyable though. I have to say, a weekend of football isn't unenjoyable for me.
As I said on air earlier on, it's your drug.
It is my drug, and I am thoroughly addicted to it.
Yes, and we all are. And we'll start off with the Cully's Craft Bakery Junior Football Championship. The first game there saw Munchaconnock taking Curla on, and this ended up in a win for Munchaconnock, 2-15 to Curla's 3-9. A 3-point win for Munchaconnock, but they didn't have it all their own way, Damien.
No, it was close in fairness, and the goals kept Curla, in contention all the time. After Munchaconnock having such a convincing win against Mahara the week before, people would have expected Munchaconnock to probably rack up a big win there, but it was a 3-point win in the end, so it was a good competitive game. Now I didn't hear a lot from it, but just the scoreline suggests Curla
Still improving.
Yeah, definitely. All year they've been improving, and they won their first round match in the junior championship against Mahara, and they won it convincingly as well. So it's all down to the last day of fixtures, I think, in that group, is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm just actually trying to bring up here. You'll have to excuse us.
Right, well, when you're getting that, I'll just run on then to the next result, which was Kildallan taking on Mount Nugent. That took place today, I think.
It did.
And Kildallan came away with the win here, a 2-point win, 2 goals and 10 points to Mount Nugent's 1 goal and 11. And it was the boot of Fergal Fragile, the man Mountain Maguire from Kildallan, that seemed to win that game with a goal and a point.
Yeah, well, he played his part, in fairness to him, and took the goal very, very well.
Was it the outside of the left boot?
To be honest, he tucked it underneath the goalkeeper from about 3 yards out.
Okay.
So
it was a fair distance for him.
It was a fair distance, all right. About the equal distance that his head is from his knees.
Right.
That he managed to blast it that way. So the ball dropped 3 foot to the ground and then 3 foot into the net. So it doubled up.
Perfect,
but it was a good game, I have to say. A very entertaining game. It was littered with red cards. Well, not littered. There was 3 red cards in total.
Right, I'd say littered. Yeah.
There was Mount Nugent lost 2 players, 2 red cards. One on a second yellow, a Hennessy lad in the middle of the field who picked up a yellow card very early on and then made a frontal kind of charge. He wanted to make the shoulder, but the Kildallan player coming running with possession didn't turn into the shoulder, so he really needed to pull away, and he didn't, and he absolutely creamed the Kildallan lad coming with a big hit on the front, and he ended up getting a second yellow and a red. So, and then one of the Kildallan players was sent off on a second yellow as well. So, but there was some very, very good scores. Darren McGoffin, corner forward for Kildallan, was excellent, absolutely excellent. John O'Neill, wing half forward, has speed again. DeBourne, a lot of people would have known him from back when he was a minor. He played county minor with Cavan and was a brilliant footballer back then. He hasn't played in a long time, but he's back and you can still see the football in him. So they've got a good young team. Cathal Sheridan at centre back, big strong lad there holding the middle and driving forward, very fit. And Kildallan, Ryan O'Neill didn't play, must be injured. Must be injured because I don't think he was even named on the bench. So it leaves it like that basically puts it now that the final game in that group sees Mount Nugent taking on Knockbride.
Knockbride, yeah.
And if Mount Nugent went out and bet Knockbride, it comes down to score difference to see who's top and second top. So Kildallan have put themselves in contention now.
Kildallan lost by 5 points to Knockbride and won that game today by 2 points, so they're on -3.
Exactly.
Mount Nugent are on -2. So they would have to, if they won
and
that game.
And Knockbride are on +5.
Yeah.
So they have to win that by
7 to top the table, and if they win it, they go into second place, which is a playoff, I think, for a quarter-final spot.
Don't think so. Well, maybe I presume the score difference is on for a reason. I don't know. If they win the game by a point, it's a playoff.
Yeah.
But if they win it by 3 points, then it becomes Knockbride on 2.
Well, no, if they win it all, they'll go ahead of Kildallan. So they will on score difference.
No, because they're -2 at the minute. Kildallan's -3. So if they win by 1 point,
they'll only be -1.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Sorry, yeah.
And it's Knockbride who can't lose by. If Knockbride lost by 8 points, they'd be on -3 as well. So it's just a big game. It's going to be a conundrum trying to figure it out on the last day of the championship. But it means that Mount Nugent have it all in their own hands.
It's still all to play for.
Yeah,
and Mount Nugent have some good footballers like Ronan Caffrey was troublesome inside. He was the other player that got sent off. Apologies for twisting here and turning. But Ronan Caffrey was the other player who got sent off for Mount Nugent. Now, we couldn't tell exactly what it was, what happened, but if that was a straight red, he'll be a big loss because he was the full forward. He was operating on the square. He got a goal, where lovely ball in over the top. His brother Kieran at the middle of the field, wonderful left foot. And some
did Jared Barkley play?
No, don't think so anyway. Don't think he did, no. They had Liam Hennessy, a corner forward, and he's a joy to watch because he's so passionate about the game. Now, he missed a lot of shots, and you could tell he was so frustrated about it, but he came good in the end. Hit a few wonderful points in the last few minutes, and was equally animated with his response to scoring a point.
As he was to miss him.
And he was brilliant. I have to say, it was a joy to watch him. And he really, really tried hard, and they battled hard. And Mount Nugent won't be an easy game for Knockbride, and I could see Mount Nugent winning that game.
Right, and that'll put the cat amongst the pigeons, I suppose. The next game saw Cornafane taking on Shannon Gales. Both teams having won their first round championship match last week or the week before. Cornafane won this one quite convincingly as well, it has to be said. 3 goals and 11 points to Shannon Gales 5 points. That is that's a 15-point win for Cornafane, who are looking very strong in this junior championship.
Yeah, they are. I'm just bringing up the tables on a show. Like, when you see how Kildallan, how well they played today against Ballymacue, it really it beggars the question. Or against Templeport. Sorry, Templeport, how they played against Ballymacue. It beggars the question then, how good are Cornafane? If they could beat that Templeport team, they must be absolutely flying, because Templeport were absolutely excellent today. They really picked up a wonderful win, but Cornafane cruising on top of that. Their score difference is plus 16. Templeport now, because of that massive win, are plus 15. So they've picked up a big win there. It means Ballymacue, last year's junior finalists, are out of the championship, which is a big blow to them. One game left against Shannon Gales, against Cornafane, I think their last game, is it? Yeah, because Templeport plays Shannon Gales. They're both on 2 points. So, sorry, because I was digging down the result you're talking about, Cornafane, Shannon Gales last week doing so well to come back and beat Ballymacue, and it was a close game. It would bode well then that you'd expect Cornafane to go on and beat Ballymacue in their last game and beat them convincingly. So it's down to Templeport, Shannon Gales. It's pretty much a straight shootout. Yeah, that's it. It's the winner takes all between Templeport and Shannon Gales, and it's a local derby, and it'll be a hard one to call. You hardly got the table for the Munch O'Connor. It's coming up now, because I was just bringing up that other one there. So they had the Munch O'Connor Curl. See, what's actually happened in that division is Mahara conceded their last game to Kill. So Kill now has 6 points, Mahara have none. You have Munch O'Connor on 4 with plus 29 of a score difference, and Corla on 2 with minus 7. So Munch O'Connor and Kill have qualified. All 3 games have been played in that group. Munch O'Connor and Kill goes straight through to the semi-final, and Munch O'Connor go into the playoff for the semi-final. Yeah, the last game in that junior championship saw Templeport, as we already mentioned, taking on Ballymacue in Kingston Breffni Park today. Templeport coming away with a very convincing win, 2 goals and 16 points to Ballymacue's 6 points. Half-time score in that game was 2 goals and 3 points to 4 points in favour of Templeport. The blew Ballymacue away in the second half. Yeah, it was 5 scores to 4 at half time, and it didn't flatter either side too much, because it was even enough in the first half. But Templeport came out with a pace in the second half that Ballymacue just couldn't live with. Yeah. And they were so dynamic in their attack. They looked more than a junior team, I have to say. They looked so comfortable on the ball. Ben Kiernan, some of his kick passing is just brilliant, and his point taking was excellent as well. Liam Galligan on the inside, Dylan Raythorne, County Minor. Benjamin Kelly, County Under 21 panelist there. Fergal Maguire's brother. Donald Maguire kicked in 2-3 points as well. They have scores coming from everywhere across the field, and in the midfield they're strong. They're still very strong. It's that Templeport team, to me, that's why I'm so excited to see Cornafane next week, or hopefully I get to see them next week, because they must be very, very good if they're able to beat that Templeport team, because Templeport looked excellent. Again, Cornafane have a young, up-and-coming team as well, and what we saw today from Templeport was exceptional. So, as you say, whatever this Cornafane team have done, they're right up there. The junior championship lines up that it'll be either Templeport or Shannon Gales. Cornafane are qualified. They're into the top. Well, Can they be caught, technically? Well, they could be caught on points, Templeport or Shannon. If the Ballymacue bet them, they'd only be on 4 points, and then it'd be up to Shannon Gales or Templeport to win their last game to go on to 4 points as well. But I'd say that score difference would be huge. I think you said they're plus 19, and I think they're plus 16, and Templeport are plus 15. So you presume they're going to go on and beat Ballymacue, and if they beat Ballymacue by more than
Won't make a difference because they'll be on 6 points and none of the other teams will be on 6 points.
He's right. Yeah. So,
So-
it puts pretty much, you'd presume Cornafane will go through into the semi-final straight away for the third year in a row, and maybe more, at least the third year in a row. They've been beaten the last 2 years by Arva. Obviously, Arva went on to win it last year, and then they were beaten the year before by Kill in the final. So it's such a competitive
Who are you
championship.
going to, right, so we'll say Cornafane are qualified from that. Who are you going to pick between Shannon Gales and Templeport?
It has to be Templeport on today's performance, and considering that Shannon Gales come off a back of a heavy defeat to Cornafane, confidence can't be good with them after that. So you'd have to fancy in a local derby there, Templeport to come through. It
Won't be easy.
No, won't be easy, not at all, and especially local derbies down in West Cavan. They're a joy. They're an absolute joy, them games, because they all love to get raps at each other, and it really is. And I mean raps as in playing football against each other, go out and score points on the opposition. But it's going to be a good game. I just think Templeport have that wee bit more quality.
Yeah, I think so. And Shannon Gales have lost a lot of players in the last couple of years, and especially this year as well. So Templeport probably gaining more, I suppose, better players coming through in the underage.
Yeah, the under
ranks and
structure
stuff.
has
Yeah.
been brilliant,
Yeah.
in fairness, and working with not massive numbers. They've competed at Division 1 at minor a couple of years there, so, and at under 16 as
It'd
well.
be interesting now if Templeport beat Shannon Gales and went through, and Kildallan went through as well out of their group,
they met
and
in
they
the back
met each
door.
other in the back door,
Yeah.
and you had Donal Maguire Dewey taking on Fragile, his brother. That'll be some
that'd
bragging
be a
rights.
straight
Some
shooter.
bragging rights down there in West Cavan, there would.
Well, there could be a new Man Mountain. Dewey could be coming to Man Mountain, that is.
We're putting it out there to you, so we are, Dewey. It's up to you to take this mantle from your brother.
Damn right. We'll move on to the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Championship, and there was 2 games this weekend. It was in round 2, which is basically the back door, the losers from round 1 going into the back door, and the first game was on Friday night in Kingspan Breffni Park. It saw Drumlane taking on Red Hills, and Drumlane came away with a convincing win here, 15 points to 6. So it's a good 9-point win there for Drumlane over a weakened Red Hills outfit, but by all accounts it didn't flatter Drumlane either, from what I'm told.
Right, and Drumlane had come off the back of a surprise defeat the week beforehand, probably.
To Butler's Bridge.
To Butler's Bridge in a local derby, so it's probably a case of getting the job done. And, you know, they've been flying all year, and just worried had they peaked too early, maybe, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, well, from what I was told, they created 35 scoring chances in this game.
Right.
Took 15 of them. So, firstly, to create 35 scoring chances in a game is absolutely huge. You look at stats from any inter-county game, you're averaging in like mid-20s. You know, the total team possessions are between 40, 50, maybe 51, 52 in some games. So, to create 35 chances, so they missed 20 chances. So it gives Frank Brady and Vincent Connolly a lot to work with regards to areas for improvement, but it also gives the lads the confidence then going into the next round, you know. So
True.
It's a good win. Ryan Connolly apparently was very good for Drumlane inside, and he's one that we know that's capable of magnificent things if he can get his shooting boots
Funny,
on.
a lot of those lads, that age group, will say the 19 mark, had exceptional weekends.
They did,
So
yeah.
they were absolutely brilliant.
And
It's going to be
as
very
we
hard.
move on, we'll talk more about them, but you're dead right, actually. Those lads coming out of minor in the last couple of years and involved in under 21 panels and involved with St. Pat's and that, they seem to be dominating games already, and that's, I suppose, it only can bode well for Cavan.
Absolutely. The next game, which was played today, Sunday, we're recording this actually on Sunday evening in case nobody knew, was between Swan and Bar and Shercock. This took place in Ballyhaise this afternoon, and Swan and Bar came away with the victory here, 1 goal and 14 points to Shercock's 2 goals and 10, a 1-point victory for the West Cavan boys. And Jamie, you were at this game.
Yeah, it was an absolutely brilliant game, I have to say. Very entertaining. Last week, people thought that Grode McKiernan in the middle of the field didn't really do himself justice. He was being marked by Conor Lyons, and Conor's a very good sticky marker. But today, he was on Brian Sankey, and Brian was tough and tight with him. But the battle between them was absolutely brilliant. But you could tell the want and desire in Grode McKiernan today. He was really hungry for the victory. And on the other end, Killian Clark was the exact same. Greg McGovern was picking up Killian Clark. Brian Sankey was picking up Grode McKiernan.
What a big
type
field.
of matchups you want to see in intermediate football. Like, people forget, like that's 4 brilliant, big, strong men, county standard footballers going head to head, and it was really, really good. There was nothing in this. There was 1 point in it in the end. There was goals in the second half that.
And the score that won it, Damien.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It was a free awarded about 3-4 yards outside the 45-metre line to the left-hand side of the goals as Swanland Bar were attacking the town end in Ballyhaise, or the village end. But it was maybe, I'd say, halfway between the centre of the field and the sideline. And Michael Cunningham stepped up, and we were just saying he has to go short. I was standing beside a Ballyhaise man and a Killincare man, and we were just saying he has to go short. It's too far out. It's a big field. And Cunningham just kicked the ball, just came right through it with the outside of the right boot and sailed it over the bar to put Swanland Bar into the lead. Now, there was maybe a minute left at this stage, so it was just a phenomenal score to win. A game or a score that's worthy of winning any championship game. Sort of, brings it back to maybe Sean Gaffney in the junior final the year before last year. That sort of a score, like it would have been harsh to lose a game with that. So, and they pushed on and deserved to get their win from that. So it was. It was really, really physical, entertaining football, I have to say. And to think that Shercock are out of the championship is a big blow.
It's crazy, semi-finalists last year.
Finalists the year before. And, now they're out of the championship altogether. So it's a big blow, but, either team could have won it. A 1 point win is exactly what it deserved and nothing more. But Swanland Bar, Christopher Corrin again, absolutely excellent. Young Breffney Kiernan is coming into his own. He scored one lovely point. Mark Cunningham constantly moving. So Swanland Bar are in a good position. They'll be happy with the draw for the next round too, no doubt. Which
we're just going to get on to now. It's the Intermediate Championship round 3. Where the winners of the games today play the losers of the first round. Is it?
One of the losers. So basically last week's draw Lara were already into round 3 because they had played in the preliminary round, and Killincare were forced out of the hat last weekend, which meant that they got the bye into round 3 as a result of Cavan Gaels not being able to fulfil the fixture in the intermediate. So it meant now that Drumlane and Swanland Bar go into the pot, and that draw took place earlier this evening in Kingspan Breffney Park. The first game out was or the first teams out were Drumlane, and it was followed by Lara, and then Swanland Bar followed by Killincare. So two very good games, I'm sure, on offer there. As we say, look at Swanland Bar going to go in huge favourites into this game against Killincare. Killincare will be underdogs. We played them in the league down in Swanland Bar. I think it was the first game of the league, and it was a very high scoring game. I think it finished 2-17 to 2-16 or 2-15. It was very high scoring. Two very good sets of forwards, I have to say, and Grode McKiernan was awesome that day. He was just
kicked 8 points, I think, that day.
Kicked 8 points, something massive like that. So Grode, is going to take a bit of watching there. So I have to do a bit of homework and see what I'm going to do. Can I get a lasso big enough to take him back in from the sideline? But it's going to be a good game. That is this coming weekend, and then the other draw is Drumlane against Lara. And Lara, of course, were in the quarterfinals last year, as was Drumlane actually after coming through the back door. So Drumlane are used to this path to get to a quarterfinal. They'll be looking forward to it. Lara, though, I've seen them on Friday night. Well, I've seen their junior team on Friday night, and they look to be turning the thing round a wee bit. Like they played some lovely.
They went so well earlier on in the year, and then it kind of went a little bit haywire for them or whatever. It just got a bit rocky, but they're a young team. They're an up and coming team as well.
That's it.
So they are. But what that draw means is that the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Championship, the quarter final, the Intermediate Championship, will see Ballyhaise taking on Butler's Bridge. Arva will take on Drung, and Belturbet will play either Killincare or Swad, and Ballyburgh will take on Lara or Drumlane. So there's a couple of crackers there. Obviously, you've Ballyhaise and Butler's Bridge, a local derby. That's going to be absolutely brilliant. Again, Ballyhaise, we had Stephen Smith in earlier on fire this year, so he is, and they've got some big names coming back into the fore.
Yeah, and the question is, where do you put them in? Like, none of the Ballyhaise forwards deserve to be dropped, none of the midfield deserve to be dropped, none of the backs deserve to be dropped on their first championship display against Swanland Bar. So do you leave Kevin Tierney, Barry McCrudden, Shane Brierdy all sitting on the bench for the quarter final? John Brady's going to have some headaches trying to pick that team for the quarter final. Having said that, nobody's going to give Butler's Bridge a prayer. They're going to say that Ballyhaise are a level above at this stage. They're operating 2 divisions higher, and Butler's Bridge will relish going into that game as underdogs. I know the character that's in the Butler's Bridge, a lot of the time it sort of mimics your key players, and Fergal Flanagan loves being an underdog, and he will bust into that game at 100 mile an hour.
Ballyhaise won't have it all their own way.
Excuse me, my throat's getting a wee bit sore this evening, but yeah, absolutely, Ballyhaise won't have it easy at all. So that's going to be a wonderful tie. The second game then, Arva against Drung. Drung haven't come through 2 championship games already to get themselves into the quarter-final. People might forget last year, probably the team that ran Coothill the closest were Drung. Like Drung really should have beaten Coothill, or could have beaton Coothill, and they were right in it till the very end.
It was a low-scoring game, and Drung had their homework done on Coothill last year, and I think it was a 2-point win in the end.
I think so.
For Coothill.
And it came down to the little margins where, if I remember rightly, it was a long ball in, and James Riley slipped or something happened, and Tom Hayes just tapped the ball underneath him. It was that difference, and that was the score that won the game essentially. And
and if I remember correctly, I think Miller came out and
gave him a wee tap.
Gave him a little tap because when Tom Riley stuck the ball in the net, he gave Miller a wee slap on the arm. So
exactly.
Is correct. So that's another interesting one. Definitely Drung. Arva again. Probably won't have it all the way. This is I think this is the hardest championship to win, and quarter-finals in the intermediate championship are even harder to win.
Yeah.
So they are.
Well, it's the opportunity to knock the favourites out, or the second favourites. Like for me, as it would stand, Ballyhaise would be favourites, Arva second favourites, and then probably Swan and Bar after them for to win out the championship. So it's the opportunity to take a swipe at them, and if you're going to catch a team like that, that's the time to catch them.
Yeah, and then obviously the next game after that we'll see Belturbet taking on Killincare or Swad, and again Belturbet won't have it their own way against either team, be it Killincare or be it Swad, and then Ballyborough will be taking on Lara or Drumlane. So there's some nice ties.
The mad thing is Belturbet will go into that quarter final having played no football in the championship.
Yeah.
And time will only tell, is that an advantage or a disadvantage? Actually, we won't know until after the game whether Belturbet look rusty. Are they doing enough challenge matches? Are the challenge matches up to the scratch to keep it competitive? It'll be just very interesting to see what way Belturbet approach that game, but it's going to be a wonderful set of quarterfinals, and that's the weekend after next. So I think it's the first weekend of September, the last in August.
It's the weekend after next anyway, so it is.
Exactly,
so.
you're right, Mickey.
We'll next up is the Hotel Kilmore Senior Football Championship, and we had a few games played in round 2. The losers of round 1, wasn't it, playing against each other?
And round 1 proper game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first game saw Den taking on Drumalee, and this one went to extra time. And unfortunately for myself and Damien, Drumalee came away with a loss here against Den, 15 points to 10. Apparently it was a very intriguing game. I didn't make it to myself, but Drumalee were 3 points to no score up.
Yeah, and the funny stat about that in the first half was that both teams created 12 scoring chances, as in I think Den had 9 wides and 3 drops short, or something like that. It might have been
and similar
something
for Drumalee.
Drumalee had 5 wides, 4 drops short, and 3 scores. There was 12 chances on both ends, but Drumalee were defending with huge numbers back and really well organised, and they were forcing Den to shoot from very silly positions, and Den were panicking under the pressure. And I have to say Drumalee were really well organised and defensively looked excellent, and then they were turning the ball into the attack very quick, and they had some lovely footballers up there. Cian Bourne, Lee Dunn were moving with speed all the time. Kieran Brady playing his first year at senior championship. He's probably 20, 21 years of age, but full of skill, full of ability. And Drumalee were full value for the 3-point lead at half time, and full value for holding Den to that score. In the second half, then Den came out and started to really batter at Drumalee. Mossicor got a hold in midfield and started to run straight at Drumalee, and Drumalee gave away 3 scoreable frees in the opening 5 minutes, which Den tapped over, and then Den took into the lead. And you kind of thought, reminiscing back to the Butler's Bridge game, oh geez, Drumalee have ran out of steam. But I can't praise the lads enough. They really fought hard, and Jimmy Fallon got back into the middle of the field. Cian Byrne came out from the full forward position out around the middle third, started to pull strings for Dromley. They brought on subs. Tomas O'Keefe came into the game. He didn't start, but he did start, but he didn't play well in the first half. Second half, he started to win ball, laying it off nice and simple. And Dromley looked like the team with all the momentum as we entered the final 5 minutes of the game. Pulled themselves back into it, then leading, I think it was 11 points to 10, and Dara Gaffney had 2 frees in the 45 metre, one on the 45 metre line and one inside the 45 metre line, and he missed the 2 of them. And then time up, Dromley were fouled again, 55 metres out, 50 to 55 metres out, and Jimmy Fallon went over. He was close to the ball, and it looked like he was going to put it down. Out came Cian Byrne, says, "No, give me that, I'm having a go at this," and took the ball, and Jimmy didn't argue with him. Credit to him, kind of gave him a pat in the back, told him he was good enough to do it, and Cian Byrne got the score of the weekend. Well, definitely the point of the weekend for me. Just absolute beautiful straight kick all the way from 50 to 55 yards out over the bar to equalise it under pressure. And for him to give the character to step up and do that, I was absolutely proud as punch for the boys. And I thought at that stage, Dromley will push on. The momentum
was with us, and
yeah, I thought they'd push on, and they had some excellent displays. Like last week we talked about Ben Connolly, how excellent he was against Ballina, and he really was. But Dromley went out and Finn O'Lee done a very good job on him. Peter McGinty was on Thomas Edward Donoghue, and he done an excellent job on him as well. So Dromley had their homework done, tied up the key players, and were very unlucky with probably the black card of Enda McCormick. I felt, now having said that, talking to other people, they thought it was a definite black card, and then they lost the goalkeeper James Heffernan to another black card, which was absolutely silly on his behalf, I'd have to say, for shouting at the referee. He roared. I don't know what exactly he said, but he was very animated in the way he was doing it, and he picked up a black card, and they were 2 massive blows to Dromley, because Heffo's kickouts were absolutely brilliant. I don't think Dromley lost the kick out.
Well, I don't think that there's a goalkeeper in the county that has as good a kick out as James Heffernan.
No, I'd have to completely agree. And then Enda McCormick at centre back. Now, having said that, Den lost Mousey to an injury, and they also lost somebody else to a black card. It could have been Martin Cahill, actually. So it all kind of balanced out a little bit in the end, but it was just disappointing. At half time and extra time, Den were up by a point.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot in it, but then just pushed on in the last few minutes. Probably the final 5 minutes of extra time, then pushed on and opened up. It turned out to be a 5-point lead, and it was. Sorry, I must have been wrong on the score. I thought it was at 10 points to 11, but it was.
I think it was.
It finished 15-11 or 15-10.
Yeah, I think it finished 10 points apiece in normal time, so it was 10-9 when Cian Byrne got that point. Yeah. So.
But it was. Look at. The disappointing thing for Dromley is now they face into a relegation battle again, and they only get one chance at it this year. You lose the first game, you're gone. So it is very disappointing. But I genuinely believe as the championship has gone on, this Dromley team is improving with leaps and bounds. And they won't fear any team that they come up against now in the relegation playoff, and if they continue to work hard, they can pick up a win there yet and secure senior status, which is so important for the club.
Absolutely, and we'll run through the rest of the results, and we'll be able to tell you.
Apologies now, I ran on there.
No, you gave a good, concise commentary on that match, so you did. So and look, Dromley are our club, so we'll allow you that.
Exactly.
Then we'll run through the rest of the results in that, so that we can say who Dromley could be playing against. Gowna were taking on Lavey. Gowna won this 3 goals and 8 points to Lavey's 1-12. It was a 2-point win for Gowna, but it was a moment of brilliance that won it for them at the end, Davey.
This was a brilliant game. Anybody listening in will agree with me, or anybody that was in Kingspan Breffni Park will agree with me. It was really good quality entertainment. Something similar to the previous week, where Lacken took a run on Gowna in the first half and Lavey built up a good lead, and Lavey looked excellent. Ray Cullivan at midfield, he's playing some of the best football I've ever seen him play, I have to say. Shane Tierney inside, great ball winner. I still have to question his want to turn onto his left foot and continue to shoot. I make it that he's missed 7 or 8 on his left foot, and I don't think he scored one in the last 2 games, but he continues to try to go onto it. Now, having said that, he does score a lot on his right foot, but he needs to work on that.
He's probably trying to give the defender a problem,
which is understandable. Like if you see a lad that can shoot on both feet, it puts you that step behind him all the time, but then if you see him hitting 3 or 4 wides on the left foot, then you're more inclined to let him go and have a shot on the left.
Yeah.
But he was very good. I thought Darren Jordan was absolutely excellent. He was playing as a wing half forward, and Mark McKeever was marking him, and it took all of the probably 45 minutes for Mark to get the grips with Darren Jordan, and then in the last few minutes Mark really came into his own. But some brilliant displays, and it was great to watch the way the years were rolled back, where Joey Jordan was marking Gerard Pearson. You know, it was like back to 2005 when the two boys would have been training with Cavan, and Gerard Pearson coming in showed a few moments of brilliance. First ball he got, he won it shooting down into the flaggy bottom end, just to the left hand side of the goals, back to the goals, gathered possession. Joey was right on top of him, closer than we are together now. Excuse me. And he just basically got less than I'd say a foot. He got a foot away from Joey Jordan. Joey was still touching him, and he just held the right hand out the way he does, cupping the ball and sailed the ball curling in at the right side. It was just beautiful to watch. And then later on, when Gowna needed the goal to get themselves in front, after, in fairness, slogging their way back in with some great work from, as I said, Mark McKeever, Conor Madden, David Phillips in the full back line was very good for Gowna. Niall Madden in the middle of the field, and Gerard Pearson, as we mentioned already, up in the full forward line. But they worked hard, they got themselves level, and then Gerard Pearson was sent a ball in. It kind of went off the outside of the right boot of one of the Gowna players, and it looked like it was going over the sideline under the stand, and Pearson was sprinting forward, and I was just saying he's not going to make it, he hasn't got the speed anymore. And just as it got to the line, he managed to keep it in play. And as Joey Jordan was right up on top of him, instead of trying to bend his back and pick it up, he soccer style passed it through Joey Jordan's either legs or around his legs and put it into the space, and then turned as quick as he possibly could. Joey Jordan was still coming over the sideline, and Pearson turned, ran in, flicked up the ball on the run. A Lavi defender came in on top of him, so he went towards the sideline, or towards the end line, got onto the end line, went by the Lavi defender and got the head up and drilled this ball across the square to Carl Jewett, who caught the ball on the chest, took one sidestep and blasted the ball to the back of the net. It was just a moment of brilliance.
Could have been the score of the weekend, I believe.
Yeah, like it was absolute joy to watch, and like it was a great finish by Jewett, but Pearson's quality just shone through, and it was a score to win the championship game again.
So a few of them scores, so there has. Yeah. The next game, your throat is at you, so I'll give you a break for a second. The next game saw Ramor taking on Kingscourt, and two of the big guns in the senior championship, Ramor United from Virginia and Kingscourt. Ramor came with the win here, a 1-point win, 12 points to 1 goal and 8, and Kingscourt out of the championship, Damien.
Kingscourt out of the Kingscourt not out of the championship. That's the baffling thing, and as I said already, Cavan County Board are rectifying it with the way they're setting up the championship with 2 relegated. But no, this was first round proper.
Right.
So now Kingscourt play Cuhullins in the back door, which is the game that the equivalent of the Den Rumley, the Gowna Lavi, and the Castlerahan Crushalloch games. So Kingscourt have another bite at the cherry. Kingscourt in this game controlled the first half and looked much the better team. Ramor making a lot of fundamental mistakes, kick passes, hand passes, some of their shooting was poor, and the big men for Ramor were failing to step up. The James McEnroes, the Jack Brady, the lads you expect to dominate, the county seniors, they just didn't seem to be getting a hold of the game at all. Terry Riley and Kieran Gorman were lording the middle of the field for Kingscourt in the first half, and Kingscourt were paying dividend in front of goal. Dara Gunn was being marked by Mark McGee, and Mark McGee started off brilliantly on him, more than the first 3 or 4 balls, getting a hand in and just keeping Gunn quiet. But as the game wore on, Gunn got himself into the game, and he kicked some phenomenal scores. His ability to win the ball was absolutely brilliant, turning onto the left foot, making a bit of space. He reminded me of, I seen Dara Gunn, I'd seen a lot of him when he was under 16 and under 14. I'd have been over Drumley teams that were up against him, and Kingscourt would have been our great rivals at that stage. And Dara Gunn was quality, real quality back then. He looks like he's real quality again. He's back up to that level, and he really set the platform for Kingscourt to go on and take the lead, and they were in a good commanding position. Probably should have been further ahead after or at half time, but Ramor came out in the second half, and I have to give credit to the young boys And it wasn't the older lads that you expect to take control of the game, maybe the Stephen Monaghan's or that. It was Owen Somerville, it was
good player,
Jack Doyle, it was Michael Smart, young fellas like that just said, Conor Bradley, James Bradley, these boys, I don't know, 18, 19 years of age, maybe 20 at most, but they really decided they weren't going to let this game go by and dragged Ramor back into the game. I think they might have been 4 points down or 5 points down at this stage, and 3 scores in a row from Owen Somerville brought them back right into the game. And then when they were within a couple of points, then everybody else clicked in. James McEnroe started to take control of the middle of the field and push forward, and he won a ball in the middle of the field, flicked it up to himself and kicked it on into the forward line. Jack Brady had great movement, received the ball, turned, hooked it over the bar, equalising score. And then I think Jack Brady was fouled and converted the winning free. So it showed the quality of Ramor that they could play bad for. Probably not
the big
bad,
players not playing well,
but the young boys stepping up.
Yeah.
The young boys stepping up there now. I have to say, very impressed with
could
their
this be
display.
Ramor's year?
Look, any year could be Ramor's year. There's no doubt in the ability and the quality that they have. Like, they have a very strong midfield. Probably just didn't get into the championship mode until well into the second half. But like James McEnroe and Stephen Monaghan should be fit to dominate most midfields there. And then they brought on the likes of Shane Cole and some big, strong players like that just made that little bit of difference to them. So yeah, it could definitely be Ramor's year, but you know, something has to change in Ramor for it to be their year.
Yeah.
You know, they've been the nearly stories a few times.
You're knocking on the door now for long enough.
Exactly,
like, so.
but these young boys could be the nucleus. Like they've had a world of success at underage and finally coming through the senior.
And these lads will be well used to winning and want to win more.
Exactly. So it was a good win for Ramor. It's back to the drawing board for Kingscourt. The funny stat is that Kingscourt have lost 3 out of the last 4 championship games by 1 point.
Yeah.
You know, we were saying that earlier on We Are Cavan, but it shows they're not too far away.
They've lost the last 3 championship games. So they have.
No, well, the Betram Goon last week.
Oh yes. Sorry, yes.
So
yes.
But they lost to Ramor tonight, Mullahorn in the first round, and the Gales in the championship final last year. So it's just time to turn things around for Kingscourt. But they have the quality, but hopefully, well, look at they would see now they'll be up against Niall Lynch's home club. Cuchulain's next weekend, so that'll tell, because Cuchulain's need to bounce back after the heavy defeat to Cavan Gales.
It'll be a tough one. So, well, the last game in the senior Hotel Kilmore Senior Championship this weekend saw Castlerahan taking on Cushillaw. That was this evening in Kingspan Breffni Park.
And thankfully, Mickey, you were at this game, so you can describe it.
I was at this game, yes. Castlerahan coming away with the win here, 2 goals in 14 to Crushillaw's 1 goal in 13. It was a nip and tuck game all the way through, has to be said. You know, Crushillaw stormed into a 2-point lead, and then Castlerahan came back at them. There was a couple of standout performances. I think Cian McEnroe for me on the Castlerahan side. He's only 19 or 20 years of age, but he's a big man. Awesome footballer. Got on a lot of ball, but his free taking was absolutely exquisite. Absolutely brilliant. For Crushillah, I thought a lot of players played well for Crushillah. I thought that in the first half, Barry McKiernan was excellent. You know, they were using Barry McKiernan very well on the inside forward line. Castlerahan weren't playing the defensive system that they usually do.
No.
And they were in at half time, and it was Cian Mackey got a goal just on the stroke of half time to leave it 178 points in favour of Castlerahan going in at the break. They came back out after half time, and Cian Mackey got a free in the first couple of minutes, and then it was a 3-point game, but Raymond Lynch got a fantastic goal for Crushillah to bring them back level. I think it was Barry McKiernan came out, won a ball on the 21-metre line, flicked it up, hand pass into Raymond Lynch's chest, and Raymond Lynch went onto his left foot, straight into the bottom right-hand corner to draw. Oh, absolutely brilliant goal. The attack, the actual lead up to that goal was fantastic. But then again, Castlerahan went at it, and then they got a fantastic goal through Oisin O'Connell. And once they got that goal, they were after getting a point through Cian Mackey to put them a point back up. When they got the goal through Oisin O'Connell, which was blazed into the top left-hand corner of the Crushillah goals, once they got that, they went with their defensive system that we'd be used to watching them over the last few years. They went with 2 sweepers, at least 2 sweepers. And every time the ball broke down and Crusherlaw got the ball, they just ran back into the defensive mode. 2 fellas standing in front of Barry McKiernan, one to his left, one to his right. Crusherlaw insisted on kicking the ball in, and the ball was just being mopped up by Castlerahan, and they go on the attack again. It was an intriguing game. I thought that it was brilliant. I just thought that Crusherlaw lacked a little bit of cuteness. It was Castlerahan's cuteness that won that game, you know, because Castlerahan are not the team that they were even last year.
No,
I think that they're carrying like they have a few players.
They're missing, missing Paul Brady, Sean Brady, David Ritt, Cormac Daly. Like they are, and they're, for a team that's not a big strong team, they are the big strong players, and they're all missing. So you know, and they had, I suppose, they Caelan McBreen back today, who was very good.
Yeah, his turn of pace was absolutely astonishing. Like
Fergal Flanagan also back.
Fergal Flanagan, that's what I mean. Like Fergal Flanagan, he's not in the best of shape that he's been in over the last few years, and he wasn't effective up until the last 15 minutes when he came out the field a bit. And right. Because he's got a super pair of hands, and he can pass a ball, and he was getting onto ball. He was just coming out winding easy, like not winding easy, like going out bursting himself, getting hold of the ball, and then he'd look for the pass, and he'd spray kick passes left, right, and just simple hand passes and whatever. But he didn't get involved as much as I'd like to see him get involved.
Young end of Flanagan also missing for Castlerahan. So like they have a lot to come back, and if they can keep the thing ticking over now with that win, it puts them into the draw next weekend. For the next round, so you know it's an opportunity for them to come back again, and maybe the weekend off will give them the chance to build again. You know, that's it. And
what that means now is that Den are gone through to the next round. Rammer are gone through to the next round. Castlerahan are gone through to the next round. Den, Gowna, and Castlerahan are gone through to the next round. Rammer will be playing.
Killigary, is it Killigary?
I think it's Killigary. Yes, I think it is Killigary in the first round proper as well. Lavey, Crusherlaw, Drummondley, and the losers of Kingscourt and Cucullins will be going into the relegation playoff, which is huge. Drummondley, Crusherlaw, Lavey, and more than likely I'd look at probably say Cucullins myself.
Yeah, you'd expect that, all right. That Kingscourt should have enough to come over Cucullins, considering the big defeat that they suffered at the hands of Cavan Gaels. But you wouldn't know. But I would say you're probably right. It more than likely will be those 4 teams. I'm just looking to see here on the fixture who exactly is Rammer playing. Am I right in Killigary? It's actually not coming up for me at all. So.
No, we'll have that next week anyway. There will be more games next. I'd say that what they're going to do is they're going to run off the relegation games as soon as the Cucullins game is Cucullins and
Kingscourt. So there'll be a free weekend next weekend for Drummondley, Lavey, and Crusherlaw. So, but it'll be interesting. They'll probably run that draw next week. So it
was a great weekend of football, though.
Massive weekend,
and there was some fantastic performances. Personally, I thought that the half-forward line, the young fellas for Templeport were absolutely outstanding, and then Cian McEnroe, as I said, Benjamin Kelly,
Kieran,
Cian McEnroe for Castlerahan, and Adrian Smith
for Crusherlaw, we didn't mention,
was fantastic.
Pierce Smith
as well, and then Stephen Smith coming on as well late in the game, getting
young
a point.
Minor still next year.
All these young fellas.
Yeah, Conor Bradley, James Bradley, Owen Somerville. There's so much young talent coming through at Cavan, and to see them dominating senior games, that's
brilliant.
I tell you, it's going to be brilliant in the years to come. But it's been an absolutely brilliant weekend of GA in Cavan. As we always say, you have to get in and watch these games, because there is quality entertainment going on at the minute, in my opinion anyway, although I'm addicted to the drugs, so I always enjoy it.
Yeah, so on that bombshell, Damien being addicted to the drug, we'll move on and say that brings us to the end of this week's show. But remember, if you want to get in contact with the show with your views, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
You can email us on GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views, or you can follow us on Twitter at Gaelic FV. And please do follow us on Twitter. We want the numbers up.
We do indeed, yeah. So our thanks to the Backrooms team tonight of the one and only Mr. Brian Daly, as always, and to our guests earlier on, Stephen Smith, Player of the Week for Week 3 in the Sheridan Insurance Breffni All-Stars, and a great choice for
well deserved.
Yeah.
Absolutely well deserved. And of course our thanks to Benny Sheridan from Sheridan Insurances on College Street in Cavan.
Yes. So, until next week, it's good night from me and
God bless.